Right, hi guys. Long time since we got some filming done. Now, I do apologise, just a bit of a rubbishy end to the year really. I'm just going to do a quick video now, just explain what's been going on and then start getting more regular stuff done again. Just like I say, just go through what we've missed, what's been going on, and what my plans are for this, because I want to change things around a little bit, make them a bit more professional. I did look into getting a photographer out and doing some on the bank videos, but to be honest, it's just making it an expensive do. I will get some editing software. Get my wife on it and get them all a little bit more professional, get a bit more scheduled as well. What I'm going to aim to do is Monday nights do a video just about my matches over the weekend. Probably on a Wednesday do a tips video or something like from the weekend, a method or something along those lines, answer some questions. Might try and figure out how to do it and do a live Q&A every now and again as well, if people would be interested in that. I don't know the technical side of it, my wife's the one to ask for that. And then on a Friday I will do like what the plans for the weekend are. Just smaller videos, but I think it'll be better and it'll space it out a little bit. Just like a 10-minute video or quarter of an hour video 2 or 3 times a week. Bit more schedule. Obviously with my work, we all know from the last couple of years that's a bit of a nightmare, and I'll get into that in a minute because that's been half the problem of the last few months. So, but that's the plan I'm going to do. I'm going to do a video in a minute. Like I say, I'm behind this week already. And again, I'll explain into that in a second. I'm just a bit behind, so I'll get a rundown of just one of my matches from the weekend. 2 matches, first 2 matches back. One not so good, one really good. And we'll just start on a high. And there are things to learn from bad matches as well, but the fish are just shouled up at the moment. I saw fish being caught, but sadly not in my peg very much, so I'm not going to start with that. I will do, like I say, I'll do a little rundown in a minute of Sunday's match. Had a really good day, but getting back to what I was saying about the last few months, because I think it was sort of the start of September. It's been nearly 4 months since I've done a video, and we just started, the qualifiers and everything had finished. Just been float fish 2 or 3 times, I think. Last time I did a video, won 2 or 3 matches. I broke the record on Phoenix, the venue record, and then won a couple just fishing on 2 islands, just fishing pellets, and then casters were starting to work. So following on from that, I had no qualifiers. I fished all of September and up to mid-October, just going float fish. It was only fishing 1 day a week really. Just having a little bit of time with the missus. She changed her job, so she doesn't work weekends anymore, so whereas she worked Sundays before, so it was just nice to have a little bit of time with her before all the winter campaign started. But float fish, I was just going there on a Saturday. It's nice and local. Fishing was good. To be honest, I had a brilliant run. I won about 10 matches on the trot. I was winning every match by some matches. I was winning by £100 or more. And it was just cast to shallow, and as it got a bit cooler meat as well, I was caught over £200 every match. It was absolutely awesome. You may remember me saying about me and my wife ran a 2-day festival at Floatfish. We changed it around a little bit, the format of it, but there were 26 of us and we had 13 on. In the end we swapped it around, instead of all on one night, 24 sorry, we had 12 on 2 islands, 12 on Phoenix, and then they swapped round, and it was done. The winner of each lake got 1 point. There weren't sections. We decided it gave people the best chance. They came halfway the first day and had a win. They were still in the shout, so it was about like doing well on your lake each day. I will go into it a little bit. I can still remember it really well now. The first day we did the draw. We did a live draw on the computer the night before. Did the random spinny wheel. Day one I was on 33 on Phoenix in the corner. As I've always said, corners are good on Phoenix. It was really windy. It spoilt the fishing a little bit for everyone. It was really windy all weekend. And my peg, it's narrow there. I wasn't so keen on it. It's the worst of the corners. It's only about 17 metres to the island, and you just run out of fish a little bit. You've got a nice long edge. And what I did, I actually sat my box in the water just so I could see, because the reeds come out really far on all the corners, just so I could see, just sat in front of the platform so I could see down there, and it's really shallow so it helps for getting your nets in as well. Just planned on fishing down the edge, like big cupping, some casters and micros and fishing worms over it, and that wasn't very good in all honesty. Spent the first hour on micros and expanders short, and then was changing it to me. Didn't catch a lot on that either. No one was catching a lot, barring Jeff Edwards. First time he'd ever been there. He'd come up to fish our festival, the Guru lad from London, good friend of ours. Actually stopped with us for the 2 days, and he just planned to fish maggot short. And he caught loads of eyed and carp, and he was doing really well, giving us all a battering. In all honesty, my peg, the wind was horrible across the peg, but it was actually really bright and hot and still. And actually missed all the, even though it was windy and blowing your pole, it was flat car in the corner, and that just wasn't helping my cause, not catching short with the meat. Did eventually catch a few with worms and casters down the middle in like 7 foot in the deep water. Started ticking over, but it wasn't great. And I was just hoping the wind would die a little bit. So, because I was so far behind, no one was catching anything barring Jeff. He got it dead right. He was on 31, which is a brilliant peg. The other corner, the wind going in there, and had it dead right. Did change to maggot short, but it didn't really make a change. Got 2 little carp, and then with like 2 hours to go, the wind just changed slightly, so I could hold a pole across, and I've gone across to like 16 metres, so I was just off the island, tapping in hard pellets. It was about 2.5 foot deep. And there were fish there, but it was mostly liners, and it wasn't great. So I got a shallow rig out and just slapped a pellet there. Hardly feeding anything, just slapping a pellet, and that was the one. And to be honest, it was all about catching quick, just trying to get myself back up on the lake. The last hour I've caught a fish, all good stamp carp for that late 3-pounders. I thought I'd done all right in the end. Thought Jeff had beat me easy, and Jeff was the better in me. There was Jeff to weigh in me, and Jeff weighed in 111 pound. I thought he got a lot more, and I actually weighed in 113. So won the lake, which was a fantastic start. Picked up good money for winning the lake. And then we did the draw again the next day. I drew peg 24 on 2 islands, which is a bit different to some of the other. You've got the point of the island, and then you've got a big banking comes up next to you. So you've got somewhere you can fish along some banking. Barry Mason had drawn my peg the first day. He'd been third on the lake. He caught along that banking and down the edge and short. And I just planned on hard pellets, then meat short. Down that edge I didn't like how it plumbed up, so I didn't do it. So I fished 13 metres down the banking, just pinging hard pellets, and then I was going to fish casters shallow. But it was so windy, could only fish like 11 metres, and I've had to fish like a big, like me pellet waggler sort of catapult just to get casters there. Started short, caught a few, and then it died, and I've gone down the banking, and that was rubbish. Thought it'd be really good. That's where Barry had caught. Gone shallow, and it's just for shallow all day. In all honesty, ended up with 260 pound. Had a few quiet spell in the middle, and then it's just been brilliant again the last couple of hours. All big stamp fish. It was just a lovely day. I won the lake by about £100, I think. So another lake win, and I obviously won the festival. So picked up over £2,000 in 2 days. Great days, a couple of days fishing. Barry was second in the end with 4 points beyond my 2. Then there was a 5 points, 6. So yeah, really good couple of days. It was mine and the wife's birthday, so we had some cake and a drink at the lake and everything as well. Really nice few days. Now the day after was the winners final. Everyone that had won over the year at Float Fish, it's the big money winners final. But because it got prolonged a little bit, there was a few more in it than normal because of COVID. It had gone over sort of 2 years because we'd missed so much fishing during some of them years. It's normally just on 2 islands, but it was because of the amount of people. It was 2 islands and Wagtail, but it was like £600 for the winner of each lake. It was like 2 separate matches, but you drew out of 1 bag. Really wanted 2 islands, so I was doing really well on there. I hadn't fished Wagtail for 3 or 4 months at this stage, and I drew Wagtail Peg 10, which is a good area. You'll probably remember I've drawn there a few times, and it was a funny day in all honesty. 11's the corner, 10's just out the corner. I started short with hard pellets, caught 2, wasn't great, and they were catching really well along the like 23, 24 along, looking up the lake, good pegs. They had a really good start with some big fish. Went out, caught a couple more with pellets long, and then I started feeding casters. It was really still. Caught 4 or 5 really big fish, and then the lake's just completely died. I couldn't get a bite anywhere. No one did for like 2 hours. A lot of people didn't catch anything the rest of the day. I just couldn't get a bite. I started lines off out of the way with like Mike's and expanders trying to catch some stockies. Didn't catch anything. And in the end, I just started feeding some casters again along 14 metres. I fished worm underneath them, started catching some stockies, and then all of a sudden, the last 40 minutes I've started getting liners, and I've caught some big carp. And I had £130, won the final, won the Wagtail side of the final, so that was another good pickup. Great 3 days. From there, this is where things all went a bit strange. Fishing wise, I won 3 or 4 more at Float Fish, again winning by the last one I fished. I had £260 and £90 a second. That was mostly on meat short. Half meat short, half shallow. Freezing cold day, and I knew Float Fish was about done by then. Normally from there, my fishing, I start going tunnel barn, getting ready for teams of 3. And this year we weren't doing that. We were doing the rookery teams of 3, and the rookery individual had got the decoy league to finish. And I just had a few weeks where I just, which is why I stopped doing the videos. I couldn't really get motivated doing anything. There was nothing. I was just going, I don't know, I've not really been like that. I've normally moved straight on to the next thing, and I didn't have it. I was in a bit of no man's land. Then I caught a virus. It went on. It wasn't COVID. Just went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Feeling absolutely shattered, headaches and toothache and everything. Not nice. Just didn't have a lot of energy. Was going fishing, but half-heartedly. We got onto the decoy league, and that didn't really. Framed a few times. When actually went into the last round, I thought we had the big golden peg to fish for. It was up to a few £100. It was the only reason I was going, because I had the first round, if you remember, 2 years ago, which carried over, and I drew terrible again. Had another last which counted, and I just couldn't be. I was only going for the golden peg, but as it turned out, I started to get a few results out. Framed a couple of times, a couple of section wins. Went into the last round with a chance of framing. Ended like I finished. Started and drew terrible. Got a 3rd, but was never in the running. I needed another £50 for another point. Like everyone, I had £14. They've caught next to nothing around me. Just didn't draw well. So that was a shame with that one. Rooker individual league, I've missed most of it because I was finishing the decoy off. I've only fished 2 rounds. They've not gone very well. The teams of 3 is going much better. First round for me was again getting on to something like why didn't have a good end to the year. Work started messing us around and kept sending us out on a Friday night when we'd been on days all the time at the last minute as well. Bears! Hey! Sorry guys, wait 1 sec. Bears! Come here. yeah, and the first round I literally went straight there from a night shift. Felt rubbish. Was fifth on the lake. You get your points for where you come on your lake. Each member of the team was fifth. Only wanted another £7 or £8 to win the lake, and I just the first hour. I've done it in the summer, gone fishing after a night shift. It's fine, but when bites are at a premium, this was the start of November, then it's just very hard work to keep going. I was all right once I started catching a few, so that was a bit of a disappointing start to it for me. Team wise, we did all right. It was a bit up and down, but it's got better since then. Personally, I've had a second and a third, 2 seconds and a third on my lake since then. It's been good for me. And the team, we've got 2 rounds to go. The next one is this weekend. The team is now winning. We're quite a long way, 3 or 4 points clear of second, and then a long way clear of third. So that's good. Open, we have a couple more good rounds. I say work really messes around a little bit, and in the end I've put my foot down and refused to work on a Friday night. And the next thing that come up, we were supposed to go to Thailand a couple of years ago, got cancelled with COVID, got rebooked for this week, for this Christmas just gone. Didn't look like it was going, and then all of a sudden November the 1st, Thailand opened up its borders, so it was quickly mad dash. We were going to go. Very, very stressful in all honesty. I wish it hadn't gone leading up to it, because there was so much testing and so much, like no one was sure what was going on, but we were going to lose our money, so we had to go. So we went out there for 3 weeks at Christmas. Was starting to feel a bit better from that, what I was saying about. Had an amazing time, went to Gillam's fishing for a week, which was absolutely insane. I was the one note, the bloody matchman, as everyone was calling me. I'll just go into, I know it's not our sort of fishing, but it's all proper carp fishing obviously. And the first day I caught 3 carp, and 2 or 3 fish a day is a really good target. These are massive Siamese carp and other things, but really frustrating. I was getting loads of liners and stuff, and it was really deep where I was. And I've just fished a waggler from then on, like bagging waggler, been really busy, tiring in the heat, but I was catching like 30 fish a day some days. I caught over 100 fish, and with the smallest being £50 in the next 4 days. It was absolutely ridiculous. So dream holiday. Great few days after Gillam's, and then just to sort of round off the year, we did our fit to fly home PCR test, and my wife got COVID. So I flew home on my own. She had to isolate for 2 weeks in Thailand, and then I caught COVID the day I got home, and I was really ill with it. Been back at work 4 days now. Still don't feel right at all, in all honesty. Some people have it easy, and some like just a cold, and I had it really bad, and I feel more so drained since I've got rid of it. So not ideal, which is why the videos haven't been going. Like I say, there's just been lots of things going against us, but I am back now. I'm going to get a whiteboard. I'm going to order it tonight. It'll be a lot better for showing things and doing diagrams, and so I'll try, and this one won't be edited, but I will get on the case and do some editing. That's where we're at. So let's say I'm going to get them a lot more detailed, bit more polished. That's what I want. I don't like having things not at their best, and they're just a bit rough and ready, the videos. I know people love them. Thank you very much. So many people can't spend the bank about them. So that's where we're at, and I'm going to just cut it off there. I'm going to do a video about Sunday. I'll get that up tonight as well, and then we'll be 3 times a week from now on. Let me get the whiteboard, and then I'll go into tactics, because it's one I really want to touch on from last week. So I will catch you again very shortly. Nice to be back, guys. Cheers.